Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and gays.
From gutters to gay bars and everywhere in between.
Here to finish off your Tuesday, it's your three besties, two brunettes and a gay.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We're going to sing again this episode. Yeah.
Do you notice you say welcome back? Except we just arrived.
But I mean, welcome back on another Tuesday.
Welcome to Tuesday.
Welcome to another Tuesday with two brunettes and a gay. It's like welcome back into our space, into our show.
You're getting deep already.
Exactly. It is your favourite or unfavourite, I don't really know, two brunettes and a gay. I'm Deanna.
I'm Celeste.
Welcome everyone, this is your Captain Gay speaking. We're going to take a nice landing into Two Brunettes and a Gay this week here on a nice Tuesday night, just before the girls go away, and sit in and get ready for the shit show. Cheers.
If that isn't spot on to an aeroplane captain, Aaron, you have perfected that.
It's my favourite part, and you can never understand them.
You can't. Well, no, you can't ever understand them. Like it's just.
They could be saying,
Yeah, we've got a fire on the left side of the wing, and don't worry, we're going to crash really hard, but sit back, relax, and we'll keep you informed.
You know, it was funny because when I was coming back from Port Douglas a couple of weeks ago, I was on a Virgin flight, and actually, I don't know if it was where we were specifically, like in the plane, but it was like you couldn't hear whatsoever. So you could tell very faintly that they were talking, but everybody in the rows, like a couple of rows in front of me and a couple of rows behind me, were kind of sitting there, and it was like all you could hear was and we were like, I've got no idea.
That's when
saying.
You feel safe on a flight.
But people are probably wondering why on earth.
that's when I start overthinking, oh crap, I didn't pay attention enough to the safety demonstration.
Yes.
Oh no, I can't remember what she did.
Yes, and you're like, light and whistle for attracting attention.
I
just remember the key things.
Those masks are going to drop down to save us.
Yeah, but people are probably wondering why on earth we're doing aeroplane sounds right now. And so it's probably a good idea to tell everybody.
He did actually drop it. He did say it in his little spiel, but if you didn't understand him, he said before the girls go away.
That's right, because we are doing a very special travel-centric episode, shall we call it? Travel-centric episode at the moment. Very special travel, lots of travel fun coming up because Celeste and I will be chugging off to Europe on Friday.
Well, we'll be heading off and Aaron will be chugging.
We'll be chuffing off to Europe. Aaron will be chugging down the champagne.
I'll be chugging the European champagne in your honour. Absolutely.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. How thoughtful. Yes. So, yes, we have a very special episode for you. But other than that, Aaron, how was your week?
It's been a good week. You know what? It's really busy at the moment. And I think it's just the aftermath of EFS. Just at work, but luckily there's lots going on in Adelaide.
Has been heaps going on in Adelaide.
So you work hard, you get to play hard, right? So we've got Illuminate and Celeste. I got to join in. I got to go Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins
last week, as did you. How fabulous was the show?
Look, I absolutely adored it. I'm a Mary Poppins fan through and through as a kid.
Yep.
So going to see it on the opening night, I was very excited. And it was just fabulous. I absolutely loved it. You must get to it and see it if you haven't. Aaron, what did you think?
It's incredible. Look, I'm not a huge Mary Poppins fan. I didn't really grow up with Mary Poppins, but it was an amazing spectacle.
It is.
It was fantastic. What about like the bag that she had, and she kept bringing out all the stuff out of the bag?
I know. And the ending, I don't want to give it away, but the ending, like, fantastic. Just go and see it if you haven't seen it already. But Deanna, you missed out on seeing Mary Poppins.
I'm feeling very left out in this conversation, actually, because I'm a huge Mary Poppins fan of the original movie and a huge fan of musicals. And I've heard that this one was particularly outstanding. So
it was.
I'm a bit bummed about that. But
it was. But why did you miss out?
I missed out because I was in Port Douglas.
Well, look, that's a pretty good, second to Mary Poppins.
It is, but also when I was kicking off to Port Douglas 2 weeks ago, if you missed it last week, I was up there for a wedding, and we had some drama unfold, but we're past that now. We're back into our regular programming. So on the plane, I sat next to the biggest Karen ever.
Karen of the fortnight.
And again, you know, like we don't mean it for the real Karens out there. We're sorry if your name's Karen. We're talking about, you know, the metaphorical Karens
The bummer
out there.
Karens out there.
Yeah, you know, I sat next to a woman that she drove me batty. So I am going to tell you a little bit more about that story right after this break.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to 2 Minutes at a Go. And just before the break, Diana from aisle 7 of the plane, she was telling you about a Karen, and over to you, Diana.
Thank you, Captain. I actually wasn't sitting in aisle 7, though. I was sitting in
hopefully
aisle...
you weren't sitting in the aisle at all. Hopefully you were sitting in a row, because if you're sitting in the aisle, that's a problem.
Row 7, aisle 7. Yeah, that's a supermarket.
Were you in the supermarket?
I really trust that, Captain.
She missed Mary Poppins to sit in the supermarket.
Row 1. I was in 1D, actually.
Is that 1 for Deanna?
No,
1D
I was actually in
for
1E.
Deanna?
I like 1D. We've had this conversation on air before. I like seat 1D. That's my favourite seat. It was taken. The Karen wasn't in that seat, though. She was in 1F.
See,
so I was in 1E. I was in the middle at the front.
See, I love 1D, but I love 2D more.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm all about the 3D.
That's a lot of Ds. Look, I think... and Aaron's gone. I think that... anyway, the Karen, she was in... Well, I've lost it. She was in 1F. That's where she was. All right? She was next to me.
1F off.
So this whole, like, getting off on the plane and all the rest of it, it was one of those... Not that kind of getting off on the plane. This segment's already gone to shit and I haven't even started.
Tell us your story. We're listening.
Go for
Thank
it,
you.
girl.
Right, let's bring it back in. So the whole thing started off a little bit not so great. Got on the plane and we're sitting on the tarmac. We bought it on time. That was all good. I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna like that's awesome because I'm here at like sparrows in the morning, you know, on the early bird flight. And the last thing you want to do is get there at like 6 a.m. and then wait around for a few hours.
Yeah.
That just grinds my gears.
Yeah.
So we get on the plane. It's all good. We're sitting on the tarmac for a while. No one's saying anything. Just sitting there. And then finally they close the doors and then the pilot does his thing that you just did and tells us that we were delayed for maintenance and that the plane that we were on was just the last on the list of the maintenance for the day and it just took them a little longer to get through all the other planes than expected. And so we'll be underway shortly. Awesome. Right, now, as people are entering, right, and we're sitting, like, the plane's clearly not going anywhere, so they were kind of very slowly filtering people through, like, as boarding was happening. But the majority of people were on the plane. The Karen next to me is sitting there, and she is talking, like, as people walk past, she's kind of semi-talking under her breath, but semi-saying it loud enough for people to hear, like, hurry up and get on the plane, you're delaying the flight. Right? And you know when someone's saying it loud enough so that you're next to them and they're wondering if you'll hear it and agree with them?
Yeah.
And I was like listening to her and I was like, she said it the first time, I was like, okay, whatever, don't think too much of it. And then she's on the phone complaining to somebody about how everybody boarding the plane is a you-know-what kind of idiot, right? Because just you got people. She was just one of these people who hates people in general.
She wasn't a people person.
She wasn't a people person. I don't know what kind of a person she was. I don't know how she functions in the world with all the other people around, but she was not having it.
And that was on a red eye.
And that was on a red eye, right? So she's clearly not a morning person.
Not a
Jeez.
morning person.
Or a people person.
Clearly not a morning person or a people person.
Right.
And so, okay, fair enough. I'm sitting there and I'm just ignoring everything that she's saying. If she's catching eye contact with me, I'm smirking at her kind of a little bit like, okay, all right, don't say anything. Let her do her own thing. It's none of my business. The plane, the doors close. We're supposed to leave. And then this older gentleman comes kind of tumbling down the aisles a little bit. And he's having a panic attack.
Oh, no.
And he was sitting there hyperventilating and he says to the flight attendants, like, I'm really sorry, but I need to get off the plane. I thought I could do this, but I can't do this, and I have anxiety, and I'm having a panic attack. And you could see that, like, he was being genuine. Like, he wasn't being a drama queen or anything like that. He was really quite struggling, and they were like, no, that's okay. Like, the plane hasn't taken off yet. It's not a problem, sir. Are you sure you want to get off? Yes, I definitely want to get off. You can see that the gentleman had, like, visibly soiled himself. Like, he was not in a good way. He was not in a good way. The Karen literally turns around and says, and he goes, I'm sorry, I've just got really bad anxiety. And she goes, well, you shouldn't be on the plane then.
I would have then probably punched her, but...
You know, like, I wished my tray table opened that way.
If I was in 1E.
I was so like, you've got to be kidding, right? Because they were like, look, so we just have to, and then they obviously announced that we need to delay the taking off again. Yep. We need to let someone off the plane, and we're just going to have to fill out some paperwork, which obviously added an extra 20 minutes or whatever it was. God. She was ropeable. And in that moment when she said that, and she said it like loud enough for everybody in our vicinity to hear, I was like, okay, take a deep breath. The old me probably would have been like, hey, listen here, do you want to go outside?
And then she's like, normally I would, but it's going to delay the flight by 20 minutes, so no.
Yeah, right? So she wasn't up for that either. But I was like, no, you know what? Like, you don't fight fire with fire. So I took a deep breath and I stood up and I said to the flight attendants, look, I am more than happy to give up my seat at the front here for the gentleman if that's going to be better for him.
Aw, bless you.
You know, so he has a little bit more space.
Very kind.
Yeah. Thank you. And I said it loud enough for her to hear.
Oh, no.
Because I was like, I'm just letting you know that I don't agree with you and that I think you're trash.
I think...
Let's not get onto the subject of trash. Let's leave that one.
Well, you know what? I've been throwing the trash words a couple of thousand times in the last week, so I reckon I get a go now.
You are rubbish. You are rubbish.
And so they said to me, thank you, but he's in no state to sit in an emergency exit, so we can't give him your seat. Anyway, it got me thinking. Aeroplane etiquette.
Oh,
right, because I feel like you can get onto this subject every time you travel.
Yeah.
Important topic.
It is an important topic, right?
Absolutely.
What do you guys think?
Oh, there needs to be a sense of order.
Well, I just feel like there's
order on the plane.
Just like rules, right? That the unspoken rules that I feel like everyone should know, especially when flying domestically.
Yep.
To me, it's like, first and foremost, on a domestic flight, you don't recline your seat back. It's like an hour or 2 hours, the flight.
Sit it up.
Don't recline your seat back. How annoying. Secondly, I forgot it.
She was really fired up. Secondly, nothing.
No, okay. Secondly, don't go to the toilet when they are trying to do food service.
Yes.
Oh, like, and it's like, you know what? It's always someone, as soon as they bring the frickin' trolley out and you're like sitting there starving and you're like, give me like the frickin' bag of nuts, like right now. You know, I'm sitting there going, I want my, what do I have? I have this particular Harvest Box Crunch. That's what I have on Jetstar. I know what it is. Nice. I've ordered it so many times, right? Nice. And then some person has to put, then they have to go and they start walking up and then they have to move the trolley all the way back to the beginning and let the person through and they got to move it all the way back, and then the person finishes in the toilet, they got to move it all the way back again.
But my real big pet hate when it comes to flying, and I don't know if you both agree with this, is when you're getting off the plane. For me, there's an etiquette in that each row filters out row by row.
Yes.
And once you get to your row, you then exit the plane. The people that push past people that are still trying to get their bags out and still trying to come out of their seats in front of you, like they have somewhere to be sooner. Now, unless the flight attendant has said, no, this person has to catch an ongoing flight and they're running late, so we're letting them through, which generally speaking, I believe they actually have them stand up and exit the plane before anyone else does.
Yes.
Then you don't have anywhere that you need to be before me. Sit down.
What about...
So true. What about, like, you know, people that shit me off, excuse my language, but people that really annoy me is the people that sit in the middle, right? they don't get anything out of their bags at the beginning of the flight. Every 5 seconds, they have to go and get something out of their bag. Oh, now I need to get my phone. Now I need to get my writing pad. Now I need to get my book. It's so annoying.
Yeah, like prepare.
Sitting on the aisle side, oh my God, it's just... Oh.
But that's why I always choose an aisle seat, because I am that person who gets about 15 things out of my bag, like, throughout the flight, because,
God.
ADHD, I'm like... Well, I start off, I'm like, I'm going to read a book, and then I got my headphones, I might listen to something, watch it, I'm going to do some work on my laptop, and then I get out my notepad, and then I'm like, I'm going to journal. And so it's like, I do 15 things on a flight, like, to keep the
Thank
time
God
going.
I'm not sitting next to you on the
But
flight.
I sit in the aisle seat. People do give me death stares, but that's fine. But people who sit next to me, like in the middle or at the window, sometimes those people, they always want to get up and go to the toilet 15 times throughout the flight. And I'm like, pick an aisle seat next time.
Maybe they were just allocated that seat and they couldn't change it.
Well, I don't know, but it doesn't make my flight, as relaxing as I'd like it to be. Anyway, flight etiquette.
I think we can all agree there is an etiquette.
Absolutely.
And if you don't follow it, use this as a PSA to start incorporating it in your flight routine.
Yes, this is our public service as 2 Brunettes and a Gay here.
Don't be a flying Karen. That's all we're saying.
Don't be a flying Karen. We'll be back with Tuesday Tea Time right after this break.
Welcome back. You are listening to 2 Brunettes and a Gay, and it's time for Tuesday Tea Time.
Spill the tea, Aaron. What's been happening?
I love a good bit of hot tea. Now, it's going off big time at the moment. The marketing of the Barbie movie. Now, it is out of this world. This Barbie movie has a lot of hype.
I haven't seen a press tour this size since pre-COVID, like well before COVID. They're going everywhere.
I don't think I've ever seen a press tour of this size ever.
I will be honest, I love that they're bringing it back though. Like, I feel like once COVID hit, everyone kind of just got comfortable with everything just being done via Zoom.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same.
No.
So I love actually seeing that the actors and actresses and everyone are going to different cities, to different premieres, like getting back to the old days.
Bringing themselves to the people.
And bringing back the pink carpet.
I love it.
How fabulous. I'm so excited. I'm going to see it tomorrow night.
Has it been released yet?
It's been, I think it's been released internationally, but
not here.
nationally it gets released, well, the previews are tomorrow.
Oh.
So I booked last minute tickets because,
Love
you know
it.
me, I'm a bit of I delay it to last minute, but I was a huge Barbie fan as a kid.
You don't
Really?
say.
Isn't that like
It's
early
part of the
signs
course,
of like
really,
gay
isn't it?
man 101?
Absolutely.
Gay child,
Well, the thing is, I mean,
back in our day.
you know what got me into Barbie is there was a video, and I just for nostalgia purposes watched it on the weekend.
Aww.
It was cute. It was Barbie and the Rockers. Do you girls remember
I don't
this at
know
all?
that.
You might have been a little bit.
I do remember a Barbie movie though.
There was many.
There was,
Many.
wasn't there? Yeah.
But
okay.
Barbie and the Rockers, it came out sort of in the late 80s, and it was she led a rock and roll band in the 80s, and they had all these characters, and the movie, it was like a two-parter, and they had all this great music, all these awesome effects, and that's what really got me into Barbie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily, her dressing up in
The
pretty
doll.
outfits. It was actually the music, it was the band element, and then I got into the dolls.
Yeah.
Yep, I had the dream house, I had the camper van.
Oh, I love the camper van.
Camper van for a camper man. It was just fabulous. And I remember for the dream house though, I remember throwing the biggest tantrum in Toys R Us.
Really?
Did you actually get it?
I laid down on the ground in Toys R Us.
And did you actually
cried and kicked my feet until I got it.
They bought it for
They
you.
bought it for me.
How
My
old
parents
were
were
you?
amazing.
21?
Probably.
It was my 19th birthday.
But Barbie brings back so many good memories.
All
And,
right.
yeah.
Which is your favourite Barbie?
My favourite Barbie would be the Barbie and the Rockers Barbie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Rock
there
and roll
actually was a
Barbie.
specific rock and roll Barbie.
Rock
yeah,
and
okay.
roll Barbie.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you play with Barbie dolls, Celeste?
Yes, I loved Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
Had quite a few different varieties. I was always partial to like a holiday Barbie, like Hawaiian or wearing like a little bathing suit. Loved that. I loved a bride Barbie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and how gorgeous were the gowns they used to put on the Barbies?
I also loved pajama Barbie.
pajama Barbie.
Yes. Deanna?
I think I was more akin to the princess type Barbies.
Ah.
You know, I liked the expensive ones, the ones with the really fancy dresses on the.
Hence why she sits in seat 1D on Jetstar.
Not the cheap whore Barbies that we bought as a kid.
Yeah. No, I don't want I wanted the Barbies with the elaborate like costumes and things like that. I liked all the princess versions of the Barbie.
And it was funny too because I actually I think it was my niece a few years ago when she was still little. She had a Barbie doll that her parents had bought her. And what's really weird is Barbies are so different now.
Yeah,
they're so cheap and nasty.
Yeah, they used to be actually quite like durable,
proper rubber. Yeah.
Are they not made? Are they hollow now?
I think they're way more hollow now.
Yeah. No, they used to be like.
Yeah, now
you could like knock someone out with one of those things.
My niece Sari absolutely loves Barbie dolls. She just loves Barbie dolls, and I love seeing her play with them. It just takes me back to my childhood.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Very nice.
Well, speaking of the Barbie movie, though, I am going in with a bit of hesitance and a bit of a low expectation.
Okay, so you're not expecting much from the film itself?
Not really. I think because the hype is so big, I think, it's got a lot to live up to.
Okay.
And I'm just really hoping there's a good storyline. I hope it's funny. I hope it's fun. I hope it's not too, preachy or something like that.
Yes, well, I guess we'll hear from you next week about that one.
Yeah, you're going to have to report back and tell us what you think.
I will indeed.
But it's interesting because obviously we've got this huge premiere happening with Barbie. It's been all over the world for the last at least week with the different premiere parties. And on the other side of things, you've got this huge actors/writers strike happening over in the US.
Huge.
So we're seeing that all unfold. Obviously, if you're not familiar with the strike itself, wrap it up in a nutshell, and I don't really think you can, to be honest, because there is so much to it. So not to obviously discount the layers, but to put it in a nutshell, basically, a lot of them are fighting for the fact that now that all of these movies and TV shows, I think specifically, that are now available on all your streaming platforms, these actors that have worked on these shows for years and years of their life are no longer receiving residuals for these shows that are now being streamed for years to come.
So are you saying, like, for example, like I've been revisiting Friends for like the 17th time recently. Usually if that's on like everyday television.
Free to air.
The actors would get royalties.
From my understanding, yes. If it's on free to air, there is residuals that are paid.
Somewhat.
Right.
But when it comes to
on
streaming
Netflix,
services, and the reason being is obviously a lot of times, years and years ago when a lot of these shows were made, that this wasn't part of a contract.
No, that's right, it didn't exist.
So there's no stipulation that says they need to be paid. So these shows are getting millions and millions of views, and the people that spent hours and hours working on them, blood, sweat and tears, are earning nothing.
Right, okay. So they're on strike, what, for royalties for past stuff or royalties for new stuff?
I believe both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe they want that to be kind of brought in as just a standard across the board.
Yeah, and better pay conditions.
Yeah, I think that, I guess it's the same as, like, if you think about music, like an artist on, radio station, if we play something on this station, APRA is responsible for distributing, the funds wherever it needs to go. And so I guess the streaming services really probably need to be the same.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say these days. There's not a lot of money in music anymore, or creating music. The money is in touring or merchandise. And I mean, you look at people like Rihanna, for example, she's got a perfume line, she's got a fashion line,
Beauty line, Fenty.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge for her.
Exactly, and she's like a billionaire.
Absolutely.
So there's other avenues I think you have to explore if you're an artist these days, because the music industry or the acting industry just
doesn't cut it anymore.
Cut it.
Unless you're a Kardashian, and they don't fall under any of those industries. But if we're talking travel, we've got to finish on this note. Last week, Kourtney Kardashian took her daughter Penelope and a group of friends to Hawaii for her 11th birthday.
Why was I not invited?
What do we think about this? Is this like oh my God, for an 11th birthday, taking a group of 10, 11, 12-year-olds to Hawaii for an all-expenses-paid trip is just ridiculous? Or are we like, if you've got it, do it?
Oh, I very much am like, cool. Like, if I had it, I'd probably take my 11-year-old.
Well, that's the way I look at it. If I was that 11-year-old, I would be... Yep, let's go. Let's go. You've got to think about it from the perspective of if it was you.
Totally. I just think it's because of the cost of living crisis. I just don't think it's a good look.
Look, for people looking at it, I see where you're coming from with that, but I guess, like they're spoiling their kids the same way that in the capacity that so many people of a lower socioeconomic standing try to do in their own way.
It's all like relative. People will spend on their kids and these particular things relative to what they can afford and also what their values are, right? Yeah. Some people, these flashy experiences are of high value, and for some people they're like, I couldn't care less. This is not what I value in life. Like, is it good for the kid? Well, look, it depends on the parent and the context given, right? Because Celeste and I definitely were not, like, unspoiled as children. Yeah. Like, we weren't super rotten spoiled, but we certainly didn't go without, and we did get a lot of what we wanted, but we were taught context. And so we haven't grown up into entitled adults.
Very rarely did we have to pull an Aaron and kick out and scream our feet on the floor. For a Barbie.
I still do, by the way, just putting it out there. But no, I remember my 11th birthday, right? And I was just as happy going to the ice arena.
I don't remember what I did for my 11th birthday, but it was probably something fun. I don't know if it was as fun as Hawaii, but, each to their own.
Again, I'm happy with the ice arena at the age of 11. Anyway.
Well, we'll buy you a ticket for your next birthday next year. All right, sounds good.
The big 3-8.
Other than that, we're going to talk essential travel items, getting back to our travel conversation in this travel episode right after this break, so stay tuned for more Two Brunettes and a Gay. In case you missed it, Celeste and I will be off to Europe for a month on Friday. We're going to Greece.
Lucky bitches.
And Croatia. And Italy.
Stop rubbing it in.
The countdown is on.
It is on. But don't despair if you're thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do for the next month without Two Brunettes and a Gay? Because we'll still be here.
What will my Tuesdays look like?
I know. We will still be here with some very special content for you all.
Absolutely.
That we have organised. So make sure you're still here 5 p.m. next Tuesday.
Tune in every week.
Every week. We got you covered. Don't worry. We will just be travelling around the place, though, and enjoying a pasta and a wine.
But in preparations for our big trip that's been coming up, and we've had this booked for a few months now, although I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like you really aren't prepared for a trip until, like, the day you leave. We've been talking essential travel items because I feel like before COVID, pre-COVID travel was really different. Like, I don't think anyone thought about it. And then COVID happened, and then TikTok happened and Instagram Reels happened. And now everybody has like these insane travel like hacks that if you go down this rabbit hole, you're like, I need the foot hammock. I need the eye mask. I need the thing that I put my head in. That's a giant pillow. Like, you need all these things that you never once needed for international travel. Aaron?
I need to be educated here. Can someone tell me what the hell is a foot hammock?
Yes, well, I can tell you exactly what a foot hammock is.
No, I didn't bring the foot hammock. Celeste has a foot hammock.
What is a foot hammock?
So basically, it's a little contraption that was designed that you put it over. It's like on like a extendable, I guess, strap.
Yep.
And it's got like a base, and you put it over your tray table.
Yeah.
Right. And so then it's like it hangs underneath your tray table, and you put your feet on it, so it's like you're reclining.
All right.
Right. So it's almost like instead of sitting, in economy, like flat-footed, like you would normally, trying to get comfortable, you then can put your feet up on this foot hammock underneath your footrest. Underneath your tray table. Kind of sit it underneath the chair in front of you, put your chair back. It's almost like you're in business. It's really not like you're in business, let's be honest. But it's better than having, your feet flat on the ground.
Wow. So would it work? Because I've got long legs. Do you think it would work for me, though?
Yeah, that's why I didn't end up getting one.
Well, I have not tried it before, but I'm going to be trying it on our flight, so I will report back to you and tell you if it's worth it.
Please do.
It led us to think and talk about essential travel items, and what type of traveller are you? So, Aaron, Are you like an organised traveller? Are you like I'm going to pack, I'm going to be really prepared a week before, I'm going to have everything sorted? Or are you like, we leave in 3 hours, let's get the suitcase out?
No, see, that's Mark. Mark is last minute.
Yeah.
Mark is like, just chuck anything in a suitcase at the end and be done with it. It'll all work out.
Yeah.
Me, no, I like to be prepared. I like an outfit for every day. I like mixing and matching things, especially like... I mean, you girls are lucky because you're going to a sunny, destination. So it's pretty easy. You've got shorts, you've got tank tops, you've got...
It is much easier to pack for summer than it is for winter.
100%.
100%. But for winter, it's like, what jacket do I put with this, or what jean do I put with this? So I'm usually well advanced with my packing. But my essential travel item though, mine's pretty simple.
What is it?
Just some good old moisturiser.
I thought you were going to say champagne.
Well, that's an essential, but I get that from the plane.
You definitely want moisturiser. But how about how much is too much, right? So are you guys light packers or heavy packers? Because what I found is that, the other thing about going on a trip is that anyone who's been on a trip recently in the last 6 to 12 months has a whole bunch of advice to give you going on the trip as well of what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's information overload.
It's a lot. That's why your head spins before you go on a trip.
Go with your gut.
I'm a heavy packer. I like to always make sure I have more and not be there and be like, oh my God, what am I going to wear? Like everyone says, whatever you don't bring with you, you can just buy over there. And yes, that's 100% true. But being prepared and not having to go, I need to go to the shops to get this is also really nice.
Yeah. And also, what if you can't find exactly what you're looking for and you're somewhat fussy like we are?
Yes.
It's not a thing.
So I'm a heavy packer. I don't know how some people do it. Like, I know my mum and dad, when they travel, they can go to, the Gold Coast for over a week with a carry-on. Yeah, I can't do Sydney for 2 days without 23 kilos.
No, me either.
I need a full bag. Deanna?
Oh, yeah. Well, when I went to Port Douglas, like I mentioned earlier, I was over the bag limit just going there for 3 days.
Oh, really?
Just came in at 24 kilos.
Jesus.
I had to pay an extra $30 at the airport.
What did you take with you for 3 days?
Because this was one of those scenarios where I didn't get time to pack in advance.
So you packed the kitchen sink.
So I packed the night before and I was like, you know what? There's no time to think about this. We just put one of everything in there. Just put it in there. I'm like, I've got checked baggage. I'll be fine. I got there and they were like, you are over. And as it was stressful getting to the airport. I was running. I like to get there super early. I wasn't there super early that time. Yep. There was a really big lineup and the lady was like, do you want to take some stuff out of the bag? I was like, no. How much is it? Just tell me. I just want this bag on the friggin' plane.
Yeah.
Just be done with it.
Hey, how much money do I have to throw at this problem? I'm just done with this.
Here's another one. What's one thing you can't travel without?
Well, he said moisturiser.
That's your travel essential. Like you have to travel.
Definitely moisturiser.
Okay.
I get dry very easily.
Are you talking about on the plane or are you talking about in your actual checked luggage?
Both.
But I get that on the flight because I feel like on the flight specifically you get really dry. Yeah. But in your checked baggage, that's one thing that if I forgot, I wouldn't be that bothered because I'd be like, I can buy moisturiser over there.
It depends. I don't know. I have a certain brand I like and I'll stick to it.
That's it. Okay, Deanna, what's your one essential?
2 things come to mind.
Tell me.
Headphones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And snacks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm definitely headphones.
Oh, headphones as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Headphones for
Absolutely can't travel without headphones. Okay, what do you do on the plane? How do you pass the time, especially on an international flight?
Well, I mean, look, I plan on sleeping on the plane. And so, kind of passing the time really. I mean, I'm one of these people who I don't sleep well on the plane. I like to, when it's like this time it's going to be different. This time I'm going to get rest and I'm going to wake up on the other side.
And be like, this is great.
I'll just pop a Valium and get a glass of red, be done with it.
No.
I've never drank on a flight.
You know what? That for you might work well and you'll be like, yeah, I'm having a great time.
Perfect.
I'll go to sleep. That for me would end up with me in the friggin', plane toilet being like, ugh.
I've never drank on a flight.
Awful, yeah.
You've never ever drank on a flight?
Maybe once. Did we once drink, Deanna, when we were flying home from Melbourne?
Yeah, and I think we felt like shit.
Probably.
Like it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you do 6 champagnes before? That's a conversation for another time. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you do. No
wanting
alcohol.
to go to the toilet all the time. I'd be hungry. I'd be congested from the alcohol. No, I'm just not about it. I'm not about
girls.
it. So,
all right, well, you've got some goodies there, Deanna. Tell us what have you bought in?
Well, look, because we thought about. Look, Celeste and I have made some pre-travel purchases. Obviously, Celeste with the foot hammock. And
packing cubes. I bought my packing cubes as well.
Brent
packing cubes.
I thought you said something else.
Packing cubes to put your clothes
Cubes with a C. Gotcha.
in.
Thank you.
So that you can like compartmentalize your luggage.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like you can compartmentalize your life.
very hip.
So I bought a turtle.
Nice throwback
A
there.
turtle. And I have the turtle here with me ready to unbox.
What is a turtle?
Well, you're about to see, Aaron.
You're in luck.
Oh,
Because I actually bought the package, which was this is not sponsored, not that kind of package. I bought this package of the turtle neck pillow rest thing and the blackout eye mask, which I'm unboxing in studio. And if you head to our Facebook and Instagram in the week, you'll be able to see the video of this right now.
We have to try this on Aaron because I have tried it.
does it come with a turtle head?
Not
No,
quite.
it doesn't come with a bloody turtle head.
So you have to, Aaron, you have to try this and give us your 100%
So basically,
review.
if you're listening and you don't know what a turtle is, it's a very expensive piece of fabric with some plastic in it. And you wrap it around your neck. I'm going to try and do it now. Well, I don't think I can because it's got all the bits and bobs. But I'll give you the idea,
Yeah.
right? So you wrap it
Show our
around. It's
reel.
going to get in the way of my headphones. I'm going to show you in the reel as well. On one side, and then you put the other strap all the way around your neck. So it does look like you're wearing a neck brace, like you've
It's
been
a
in
neck
hospital
brace.
recently.
It looks like a neck brace.
neck brace.
Oh, dear.
Right? But the idea is that you can just sit there and lean your head.
Oh, that
like
looks
this.
really comfortable, Gianna.
Let's put it on Aaron. Aaron,
So, you know,
you're going to give us your review. Take off your headphones.
I look like Milo Kerrigan.
look, you can Velcro it. I just haven't undone the part for Velcro it. So
Okay,
right
he's-
now you won't be able to Velcro
Can
it, but
I
you
do
get
it?
no, because I have to.
Okay,
undo
the
it.
turtle has stumped him.
So you can't.
I'm already stumped on the
I'll put it on.
turtle.
Right, there we go. So you go around your neck,
Ow.
and you
Ow.
gotta imagine. Well, stopping a baby.
Ah.
He
You
looks like
imagine
he's
that
been
was
in a
sticking
recent
there,
accident.
And then you sit up, and then you just lean on it.
That's
He's
nice,
not
isn't it?
impressed.
Oh, that's lovely.
Aaron, what's your review?
Oh,
That's my new travel item.
God,
and between that and the sleep mask, I think it was like $170.
got
So
a
you
new
freaking better sleep on the plane or
got
what?
a new sympathy for turtles.
So we'll get you a review on the turtle. The turtle. So, Les, is there any other essential or pre-travel purchases?
Well, like I mentioned, my packing cubes, because I've seen that all over the TikTok as well.
You're packing cubes.
Yeah, everyone's been having these packing cubes, and I'm watching these people pack like for 3-week-long trips in a carry-on suitcase because they put everything in a packing cube that then gets like sized down even further to compress everything, and they just put it all in a carry-on. And I'm like, oh, that's the goal. It'll never happen. I do not pack light enough for that. But I did buy packing cubes. Haven't actually started packing them yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing if they make a difference to my suitcase.
You guys need to, make sure you keep us on top of this.
Yes.
And show us how well the packing
I don't
cubes
know if
work.
I'll pass the weight allowance if I keep you on top of my suitcase.
All right, and on that note, we're going to be back with more Two Brunettes and a Gay right after this break.
So it's not just us that's planning a big trip. I mean, if you've been on any of your socials recently, you'll see first and foremost that probably half of your family and friends and half of Australia is also travelling. I mean, I feel like everyone's in Europe at the moment.
Everyone.
But Aaron, you're also headed off, not right now, but shortly.
Yep.
Where are you headed?
Now, konnichiwa, Japan.
Oh, when are you going?
Going October for 2 weeks with a bunch of good friends and Mark, and we're travelling through. We start in Fukuoka.
Is that what it's called?
Big yawn.
Bless you.
Fukuoka, you too.
No, that's what the city's called.
What's it called?
Fukuoka.
Shout out to all our listeners from Fukuoka.
We love Fukuoka. And then we travel up, of course, and we go through Hiroshima and Tokyo, etc. So
I've heard lots of people rave about Japan. Apparently,
Yeah, they love
it's a great place to travel.
and,
gorgeous.
And look, I've worked out where all the Japanese McDonald's are located because
you'll know you'll
I'm
be
the
able to
fussiest
eat.
eater.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because you don't even like Asian food.
Well, certain Asian foods I do, but yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be my biggest challenge, but I'm so excited for it.
Okay, so you're headed to Japan, but
Yeah.
what about where you've been? What's your best travel memory? Like, what has been your favourite memory from a trip you've taken?
Oh, look, I've had so many good trips. And again, I love a good summer holiday.
Yep. We're
Summer
all going
holiday.
on a.
Summer holiday.
Does anything stand out?
No, for me, look, the most memorable trip I reckon I've ever had was with my friend Kelly. We went to the US about 10 years ago this year. 10 years ago. Can't
Wow, that's
believe
a
it.
while. Yeah, I remember when you were there too.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. We had a great time. But it was funny, like 4 days in, I remember we were in Anaheim. We went to Disney World and Disneyland and everything. Came back and we were, enjoying the pool, and we got in the spa and we're like, okay, let's get a bottle of red. I don't know why we chose red, but let's get a bottle of red. Interesting choice.
Summer.
Yep, interesting choice. And that's right, because it was her 21st. So we thought, let's cheers that. So we're in the spa, drinking a glass of red, taking selfies. Next minute, the phone gets dropped in the spa.
No. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Whose phone? Hers or yours?
This was my phone.
No.
My heart sank. I was like, oh my God, it's only like 4 days in. We've still got another few weeks to go.
That early too. Oh, that
I know.
sucks.
But
so bad.
the funniest part was that Kelly then, in her bikini, wet as anything, went into the restaurant area that had a sign specifically saying no bikinis or no swimwear.
In the restaurant.
And she just yelled out, I need rice! I need emergency rice!
Did it work? Did you get the phone to work?
So I put it in the bowl of rice, and then we got upstairs and waited a few hours, and I was impatient. So in the middle of the night, I thought, I'm going to just check it. Ripped it open. There's rice all over the hotel room floor. And it kept like flashing up, and then it would fade out, flashing up and fade out. So it was devastating. But I got it fixed in the end, luckily.
Okay.
About a week later. But it was pretty fun because it was just such a silly holiday. It was one of those that I was 27, she was 21 at the time. We had a ball. Like we just drank our way through the States. We partied hard. It was a great time.
Didn't you meet Macklemore?
Oh my God, this is so fun. So in Miami, we're out having drinks. We went to a couple of clubs, and then we woke up the next day and we said, oh my God, how good was it meeting Macklemore? And we're like, oh my God, I really wanted to see a celebrity in the States. We took a photo with him. Let's check the photo. So my friend got her phone out, and we looked and we went, oh, that's not Macklemore.
Oh God!
It was some
Another case of mistaken identity.
It was some random dude in Burger King.
That's fantastic. Oh, you know what? Speaking of the US, I've travelled there a couple of times myself. But one of my best travel memories, it has to actually be with my friend Vicky, who we're actually meeting in Greece. When we go next week.
She's already there.
She's already there,
yeah.
yes. She was in the Funkies with us. So she's a dear friend. And Vicky and I went to America 11 years ago for our 21st birthdays.
Wow.
Because we're born a day apart. So very exciting trip. And one of my best memories has to be one night. It was our first few days of our trip. We were on our first stop, which was in LA. It was our last night in LA. And we were asleep in our hotel room. Beautiful hotel. Can't remember what it was, but it was beautiful. Sleep in our hotel room. And at 3 a.m. in the morning, Vicky wakes me up. We're in, beds next to each other. She wakes me up. She's like, Celeste, get up. I was like, what? She goes, there's been an earthquake. I said, what? What? She's like, there was an earthquake. The whole hotel shook. Oh, my God, we need to get up. Oh, my God. And I was like, okay. So I get up and I'm like, oh, God, I didn't feel anything. Oh, my God, what's that? Like the room was still in order. Like nothing had fallen. She's like, let's go onto the balcony. I'm sure everyone's outside. We go onto the balcony. Like nothing. Crickets. Crickets. No one's out. I was like, Vicky, are you sure that there was an earthquake? She's like, I felt it. There was definitely an earthquake. 110% she dreamt an earthquake. There was absolutely no earthquake. And it was something I still remind her of to this day.
The earth moved for her.
You know what's funny though? Like
Literally.
bless her heart, Vicky. If you listen to the podcast when this goes up, when Vicky's convinced of something too, there's no changing her mind.
Yeah.
That's what I'm laughing about this situation, even though I wasn't there, because it's like someone who is like 100% there was an earthquake. We could have died. Like convinced, absolutely convinced, until the next day when everybody else was like, there was no earthquake.
But there has to be one travel story that really does almost top my list.
Yeah.
Deanna, do you want to take this one?
Well, I want to take this one, but I think we might actually take this one after the break. So we're back with this epic travel story that we are dying to share with you all. And Aaron, is the anticipation. I hope it's killing you.
I've never actually heard this story. So
You
I'm super
haven't
excited
heard
to
this
hear it.
story before. And,
Yeah.
Actually, shout out to Dad, because this story is really, centered around our dad.
It's also theme appropriate. Like, we're traveling to Europe. One of the countries we're stopping in is Italy, which is where this story took place. We're obviously on Radio Italia Uno, so it's real theme appropriate just to kind of bring it home. So I'll put you in the picture. Literally. I'll put you in the picture. So it's 2010, and my family, so my dad, mum, Diana, myself, our grandmother, we're travelling through Italy, and we went specifically to take my grandmother back to her hometown in Calabria, which she hadn't seen family for years and years, and so we went there, we spent some time with the family, and then we I don't want to say kept her in Calabria, but we did.
We basically left her in Calabria.
We left her in Calabria, and the rest of us went travelling through the rest of Italy for about 3 weeks, which was just beautiful. And one of those stops was in the centre of it all in Florence.
In Fiorenza.
In Fiorenza, that's exactly right. And we didn't really know what to expect from Florence, and we had only booked one night in Florence, I guess because we didn't know a whole lot about it. And looking back, I probably would have spent a lot more time there. But back in the day, I guess everyone was, talking Rome and Amalfi and Milan and those places.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had 24 hours in Florence, and we thought we have to try and get as much in as we can. And so part of what we wanted to do was, of course, go and see the statue of David.
Now, if you know our dad as well, like this, you're gonna laugh, because this story is 100% something that he would do.
100%. So if you're familiar with the statue of David, it's located in the Accademia Gallery of Florence, okay? So it's not, you can't just go and see the statue of David.
Yeah.
It's a museum,
Okay.
right, with many pieces of art and everything. And the lineup to get into said gallery is obviously on a daily basis quite significant, because it's a huge, I guess, monument.
Well, yeah, it's an icon. Obviously,
Yeah.
lots of people go, and you don't realise how big the statue of David is. Like, when we saw it, it's freaking ginormous.
Is it?
The stature.
It's the stature.
The stature.
The stature of David.
David's stature is big, just to clarify.
I must go
Anyway,
see this, David.
You would like it a lot.
I'd like it?
Yes,
Oh.
you would. Yes.
so we got 24 hours. We go, we get to this gallery, and we see there's a significant lineup, and we think, okay, well, we haven't come all the way to Florence to not see the statue of David.
Mind you, though, we didn't get there until about, I think it was like 2:00 in the afternoon.
It was later in the afternoon.
And so when we went to get tickets at the line, and we saw the lineup was huge, they were like, no, if you wanted to get a ticket to get in today, you needed to be here hours ago to
Really?
line up. People were purchasing online back then, but it wasn't a thing. Like, now you do everything online. Back then, online was very new, so they would release some tickets online, and those people would go in like the fast lane.
Yeah.
But everybody else just got there like 3 hours, before.
Wow.
And I think it closed at 5, and I think we got there at about 2, and they were like, you won't get in before we close.
Anyway, so we thought we're going to line up and see if we can get in. So we're in this line, and we were probably standing in this line for a good 30 minutes, and it hadn't moved a whole lot. But we thought, you know what, we haven't come all the way to Florence not to see the statue of David. So waiting in this line, and my dad is an impatient person.
Very impatient, very.
He said to Deanna and I, he said, I'm not waiting anymore. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Right? And Deanna and I were like, well, we're not leaving. We're staying in the line. So he was like, fine. So he walks away, comes back, and then he goes, I guess, to take Mum with him. And we were like, we didn't have an argument, but it was like, Dad, we're not leaving. We're staying. We're not going to miss out on this. So he walks away. All right, no worries. So we're waiting in this line. 10 minutes passes, and Dad comes back up to us in the line, and he says, girls, come with me. And we say, no, Dad, we're not leaving our spot in the line.
We were like, we're not freaking moving. We're going to lose our spot in the line, and we're never going to get to see David.
We're not, there's people now behind us, a long line behind us, and we're not going to the back of that line.
Yeah.
So we're not leaving. Girls, just shut up and come with me. No. Just do what I say. Okay. So we follow Dad, and he takes us to the front of the line.
Ropeable, might I add you.
So ropeable. We were like, I can't believe I just left my spot in the line.
Yeah.
So we get to the front of the line, and Dad can speak Italian. And he starts speaking in Italian to one of the security guards at the front. And so he hands the security guard something out of his wallet. The security guard looks at it and goes, okay, just a minute. So we're waiting there, and after about a minute or two, he says, how many? Okay, there was 5 of us.
Yeah.
He says, okay, no worries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go straight in. So we walk straight in, and we look at Dad and we go, what happened? He goes, just walk, just go, just keep walking and just act like this is you're supposed to. So I go, okay, no worries. We get in, we pay, because you have to pay to enter. Yeah. And once we're in, Deanna and I were like, what? How did we jump this line? Like, what happened? My dad went to the security guard and told the security guard that he has his security license here in Australia. And in Australia, if you have your security license, you get entry into everywhere because you are security. So can the same be done here? And the security guard said, yeah, okay, no worries. Checked his security license and then let all of us in ahead of all the lines.
Wow.
We got to see David.
Oh, my God. That's brilliant.
It was quick thinking. It was quick thinking on Dad's part. Got to hand him that.
And the extent of Dad's security license is like he might have been security at like a party or two. Like he's not like Secret Service. It's not like, oh, well, he's not a security guard. He just has a security license. And it served us well that day.
That is absolutely genius.
So that's why we said if you know Dad, you know that you're like, yeah, totally. Can 100% see that.
Brilliant.
Oh, God, we've got some good travel stories. I love a good travel stories, and I think we'll be back with some good travel stories in a few weeks' time as well, so I'm very excited at that. But coming up after the break, we've got some top, I can't say it. I got stuck on the same word, top.
Top.
Do you know what I love? Deanna goes,
top tips.
Coming back after the break.
with some tops.
Tip. What I was going to say was we've got some top tips from Reddit. Instead of our usual shit advice from Reddit, we've actually got some travel top tips from Reddit, which might make you laugh. And, of course, we've got our Tuesday takeaways, our wisdom for the week. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be back very soon.
Welcome back to our Two Brunettes and a Gay travel show this week before you girls luckily fly away.
Jetting off.
I'm gonna take you for a ride.
I think we'll get flagged for that. Stop.
Yeah, stop with the copyright stuff. No, but we're at our final segment. We thought we'd finish off a very informative segment. A very educational
Leave
segment.
you with some wisdomous words.
Some wisdomous words and some information
That's my
stations.
word. You guys paid me out for saying that word and then using it. Wisdomous.
Wisdomous. Oh, it's in
definitely
my
not your
vocabulary
word.
now, Deanna.
Okay.
I've stolen it.
I've started something.
But look, we've got some really good top tips.
Top.
Is that how you say it, Deanna? Top.
Multiple
tips.
tops.
Oh, I love a multiple top situation. But some top tips if you're going away on holiday, whether you're jetting off to Italy, Greece, Port Lincoln, it doesn't matter. You can use these tips anywhere, really, I find. So these are from the archives of Reddit.
Yeah, you know when you're going away and you like do that little Google search and you're like, oh shit, like what have I? The essentials to pack and tips for traveling and things, and you do go down a bit of a rabbit hole.
You do go down a bit of a rabbit hole, and you can get a bit lost because it is information overload.
I feel like it's overload. I do. Yeah.
In this day and generation, it is information overload, so you can get a bit lost. But we thought we'd share the most important tips here with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Here with you on Radio Italia Uno and on the podcast.
Hit me.
The first one's a really important one, and I think it's actually very, very good. So the first tip is photograph your hotel right away. Sometimes there's several with the same name.
That's actually I've never thought of that before, but that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think obviously if you can't speak the language, if you're in a foreign country with a different language and you're trying to tell someone where you're trying to get back to, if you can show a picture, there you go.
When I was in Brisbane, there was like multiple mantras. So like mantra on Mary, mantra on this, and like you can get lost and go, oh, hang on, which one was our mantra? Which mantra?
I was going to say, do they not speak English in Brisbane?
Usually, I think this is more for like non-English speaking.
They speak English. They also speak Yobbo. The second tip this is a good one too. If travelling through countries where you don't speak the language, take pictures of your bags before you go. That way, if they get lost, you can show the picture to the airline or train attendant, rather than trying to remember the local words for burnt orange with purple highlights duffel bag.
Definitely would not remember that.
That's actually really true as well, because like you're going to have to sit there and try and translate like describing what your luggage looks like. And take a picture. This is what I'm missing.
Exactly. And that's exactly what my luggage looks like.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Take twice the amount of money and only pack half of what you need.
Yeah. I feel like that's goals.
Pointed.
That's goals, but I don't know if I can only pack half of what I need.
But you do really only end up using half.
Oh my God.
Most of the time.
The worry is you go, I don't want to repeat outfits because it's going to be in photos and it's going to be in videos. I don't want to look like I'm wearing the same thing all day, But
miss the days where you didn't care about re-wearing things 1,000 times.
My extra packing is more so though, but what if it's hot? What if it's cold? What if it's in between? I don't know if we're going to, is it more jeans vibe? Is it more dress vibe? Like, I don't know. That's a woman.
Just go.
As a woman, it's hard.
Go with your gut. No, but this leads us to the next one. Focus on experiencing, not documenting.
I think that's so important.
Because no one is going to look back at those 50,000 photos of some bloody old, building.
I stopped doing that a long time ago. You know how people take like multiple pictures of scenery?
Yes.
I don't take pictures of scenery anymore.
If I do, I take one.
Or I take a video. And that's it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good one. The next one, as soon as you arrive in a country, get a pay-as-you-go / prepaid data SIM. They can be pretty cheap. Most countries now have great coverage, and Google is your best friend when things go wrong.
So true, because when you need maps, you need your maps.
See, we complain about social media, etc., but what would we do without Google Maps and Translate?
I really don't want to get a SIM, but I'm like someone in the group. We definitely need to have like one in the group when you're traveling, because also when you arrive at the airport and what if you can't find your transfer or something like that, you're trying to contact a car, you need to get from A to B. That's the part that worries me, because if you're in a place without Wi-Fi and you need to actually call a hotel because you can't use the Wi-Fi to do that, then you're screwed.
You are screwed. This is important, Deanna. Take listen to this one, Deanna, and focus. All right. If flying, take a second pair of clothes and underwear and whatever toiletries you need in case you saw your pants on your plane.
Also very important in case you lose your luggage.
That's actually something that someone I know told me a while ago. They were like, oh yeah, I always pack like an extra this, that and the other in my carry-on because in case they lose my luggage, I've got underwear. And I've got, toothbrush and all the rest of it as well. And I was like, shit, that's a really good idea. I never thought of that before.
Never lost my luggage. Touch wood, don't plan to.
Oh, no, I lost my luggage once in Vegas the last time I went to America. Well, the airline did. And I went straight to the shops, bought a whole bunch of outfits, and then they called and said, oh, we found your bag.
That's great. I lost my luggage. You were like, no, the airline gave it to me. I just don't know where I put it.
It is Vegas after all. This is an interesting one. So while it can be bad to overplan something, underplanning is just as bad. You end up wasting time trying to figure out where to stay, eat, etc., instead of just enjoying the destination.
True. Yeah. I have had that experience before myself. Like I went on a trip a few years ago with a group of people, and the person who initiated the trip was like, oh no, we're just going to get a car and we're not going to book anything and we're just going to get there and we're going to plan one thing at a time. And we were in Europe and I thought, oh, okay, yeah, that should be fun. And they're like, we've done it before, it's the best, you'll love it. We spent so much time in the hotel room on the Wi-Fi trying to book the next freaking hotel every day or two. I was like, you don't even get to enjoy the trip because you're just too stressed about where you're going next. Never again. We've planned everything this time.
Pre-plan.
You plan the hotels, you plan those types of things, but the day stuff, I mean, you can always, unless unless it's something that you really want to see that you have to book in advance for,
Yes.
go into every day just, enjoying yourself, seeing what you feel like doing.
I agree.
Some days you just want to sit by the pool and just have a cocktail and just relax.
I agree.
See
how you feel.
Don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it.
This last one is my favourite.
It's a holiday. Yeah, the last one's an interesting one. Go now, one way.
Don't come back.
That's it. Let's all book a one-way ticket. Off we go.
No, please come back.
Oh, okay.
We've got a radio show to get back to.
We will be
and
back.
I missed you guys.
We will be back before you know it, and you'll be going, I miss the days when they weren't here.
No, well, I'm looking forward to a bit of P&Q.
Well, speaking of P&Q, how about your Tuesday takeaways? How about your wisdomous moments for the show?
Yes, my favourite part of the show. I've got one.
Cabin crew, prepare the plane for landing.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was deep.
So
I
that's your final thought. I love that because I feel as though people are going to walk away from tonight's show going, you know what, that really hit me hard. That's good.
Prepare the
In the
plane for
fields.
landing.
Right, mine is it's quite simple, really. It's just go and live life, go and see the world, and if it's not the world that you want to see, if you're quite happy here, then just live your best life right here. But either way, just live because you're not guaranteed tomorrow.
I like it. It's deep. It's good. There's a lot of wisdom going on.
It's good and
flying
deep.
everywhere tonight.
Deanna, where do you want to leave us?
Look, I want to say if you're listening to this episode and you're getting annoyed or frustrated by all the travel talk, or you're listening and you're like, oh my God, I love holidays, it's so exciting and I'm not going on a holiday right now, this is your sign to take some time off for yourself and book a holiday. The thing is, I had this conversation with someone today. They were like, oh, you never get to go on a holiday. I was like, well, do you ever plan one in advance? They're like, no. You got to book it in for 6, 9, 12 months time. It's not going to happen next month.
Yeah.
Plan in advance. Start working towards it, even if it's just a weekend away somewhere locally, even if it's a week away. This is your sign to go and take a break.
Absolutely.
That is my wisdom for the
well-deserved
week.
break.
That's right. So if you've been listening live and you liked this show, head to the podcast, available on all your major podcasting platforms. And if you've been listening on the podcast and you want to catch us live, you can download the Radio Italia Uno Adelaide app and you can listen to us 5 p.m. every Tuesday. Check us out on Facebook, on Instagram at 2 Brunettes A Gay. Send us a DM if there's anything you want us to talk about live on air, because we'd love to hear from you. And that's about it from me.
Even send us in some DMs about, Greece or Italy, where you want to see the girls travel when they're overseas too.
In fact, maybe
Travel
if you
tips.
tell us where you want us to travel and then we put together a GoFundMe and everyone funds it, we'll go on the holiday.
Hey,
If you've seen our latest reel, which, quite a few people have from the numbers, but if you've seen our latest reel, we don't mind a little bit of 2 Brunettes and a Gay travel.
bring it on.
been a while.
Teabag travel is ready to take off.
We love a
Teabag.
bit of teabag travel.
We are ready for that teabag travel.
Now have a fabulous holiday,
Thank you.
and we'll see you
Next Tuesday.
Ciao, Adelaide! It's your favourite trio, 2 Brunettes and a Gay, here to remind you to join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. for your drive home.
Expect the best beats, sassiest segments, and plenty of piping hot tea from the weekly rumour mill. And let's be honest, we know us Italians love a good gossip.
So tune in at 5 p.m. every Tuesday right here on your number one station, Radio Italia Uno, 87.6 FM.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.